Everyone says Ha Long Bay is a must-see in Vietnam. But is it really worth your time and money? Let's take a journey together and find out. Rising like ancient sentinels from the emerald waters of northern Vietnam, Ha Long Bay is a place of myth, mystery, and breathtaking natural beauty. Picture thousands of limestone islands and islets, cloaked in lush greenery, standing in silent formation. A seascape so awe-inspiring, UNESCO named it a World Heritage Site. Located about 170 kilometers from Hanoi, Ha Long Bay has become a symbol of Vietnam's natural wonders, drawing millions of visitors every year with its promise of adventure, tranquility, and unforgettable views. But when so many people call a destination unmissable, expectations grow sky-high. Does Ha Long Bay really deliver, or has mass tourism dulled its magic? First, let's talk about getting there. For most travelers, the adventure begins in the vibrant capital city of Hanoi. The journey to Ha Long Bay is straightforward, but can be a little daunting if you're not prepared. Your main options are by bus, shuttle van, or private car. Public buses are the most budget-friendly choice, while luxury minivans or private transfers offer more comfort for a higher price. The trip takes between 2 to 4 hours, depending on traffic and your chosen transport. Most cruise operators will bundle transportation into their packages, picking you up right from your hotel in Hanoi's Old Quarter and shuttling you straight to the harbor. Trains are less common, and flights aren't really practical for this relatively short route. If you're planning to visit on your own, renting a scooter is technically possible, but given the distance and traffic, it's not recommended for most travelers. Whichever way you go, get ready for a few hours along Vietnamese highways. Use this opportunity to watch the countryside roll by and anticipate the adventure ahead. Once you arrive at Ha Long Bay, the real question begins: how should you experience it? With more and more options each year, you'll have to weigh the pros and cons of a day cruise versus staying overnight. A day cruise is perfect for those short on time or traveling on a tighter budget. You'll typically board your boat in the late morning, spend a few hours weaving through the main clusters of limestone islands, and squeeze in a handful of activities. Expect stops at popular attractions like Thien Kung Cave or Sung Sot Cave, where spectacular stalactites and stalagmites await inside ancient limestone caverns. There'll also usually be time for kayaking or a quick swim, and maybe even a seafood lunch served on board. With a day cruise, you'll see the highlights, snap plenty of photos, and be back on dry land by sunset, ready for the return trip to Hanoi. But if you yearn for a deeper experience, or simply want to soak up the mystical ambiance that Ha Long Bay offers, you might want to opt for an overnight cruise. This is where the magic truly unfolds. As the day trippers head back to the harbor, the bay quiets down, revealing a peaceful stillness you can only find after dark or at dawn. Overnight cruises usually include evening activities like squid fishing, sunset cocktails on deck, and stargazing beneath an ink-black sky. You'll sleep in a cozy cabin, lulled by tranquil waves, and wake to the sunrise casting golden light across the water. A sight many call the highlight of their entire trip to Vietnam. Multi-day cruises venture farther into the less visited corners of the bay, often toward Bai Tu Long or Lan Ha Bais, where the crowd's thin and secret coves await. If your schedule and budget allow, even a single night aboard a boat here can feel like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Of course, the popularity of Ha Long Bay brings both opportunity and challenge. There are hidden gems to discover, like secluded fishing villages, pristine beaches, and tranquil corners where time seems to stand still. But there are also undeniable tourist traps. The main harbor at Bai Che Bay can be noisy and chaotic, especially during peak season. Some boats follow rigid, crowded routes, visiting the same over-trafficked caves and beaches as everyone else. Hawkers selling souvenirs or snacks occasionally approach floating docks. The water near busy areas isn't always as pristine as the travel brochures promise. For the best chance of avoiding the crowds, consider choosing a reputable cruise line that explores less frequented regions like Bai Tu Long or Cat Ba Island, or go with a boutique operator that limits passenger numbers. Some travelers love renting a private junk boat for a personalized journey, though this can cost significantly more. Let's break down the pros and cons. On the plus side, Ha Long Bay's natural beauty lives up to the hype. The dramatic limestone karsts rising from the mirror-like water are as ethereal in real life as they are in any postcard. Kayaking into hidden lagoons, watching local fishermen glide silently by, and witnessing sunsets that set the entire bay aglow with fiery color, all of this is nothing short of magical. The seafood served on board is fresh and delicious, the air salty and invigorating. For photographers, every turn offers a new angle or a play of light that shifts from minute to minute. But it isn't all smooth sailing. Overcrowding is a real issue, especially during peak travel months or national holidays. Some cruises cut corners on quality, leading to disappointing meals or dated accommodations. The environment also suffers under the strain of mass tourism. Litter, overfishing, and boat emissions are ongoing challenges. Finally, the cost can be higher than you expect, especially for the more luxurious or private tours. Budget travelers often find themselves weighing the price tag against limited time on the water, sometimes wishing for a bit more value for their money. So, is Ha Long Bay really worth it? The answer comes down to what kind of traveler you are and what kind of experience you seek. If you crave untouched wilderness, you may find the crowds off-putting. But if you can look past the commercialization, you'll still be rewarded with landscapes that stir the imagination. For many, a night under the stars on a Ha Long Bay junk boat ranks as an absolute highlight of any Vietnam journey, something to remember long after you've left the country behind. If you're able to do your research, set reasonable expectations, and choose your itinerary thoughtfully, Ha Long Bay just might steal your heart. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Would you visit Ha Long Bay? Drop your answer in the comments.